All right. Well, good morning, everybody. So another good crowd here this morning, which is great. So we're going to just get right into this today with some breathing. So if you want to come up to the front edge of your chair and make sure your sitting bones are nice and level, so you're not kind of leaning to one side or the other. Sometimes we're not even aware of that we kind of favor one side or the other. And then if you can, have your feet underneath, or your ankles rather, underneath your knees. Now I'm a little limited on this leg, so my ankle is not quite under my knee, but it's getting there, and hopefully all of you have some level of that. And let your hands rest on your lap or on your thighs. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. And let's just take a couple of full deep breaths in and out. And with each exhalation, you might want to just sigh a little bit, just to kind of release any tension in your diaphragm. We'll do that a couple more times. This is a nice way to kind of release tension, get yourself prepared. And if it's comfortable to close your eyes, I'll invite you to do that. If you'd rather have your eyes open, you might just want to drop your gaze down at the floor in front of you. Just brings your awareness into yourself, makes things a little more introspective. And just notice how the breath is moving in and out of your body this morning. As you breathe in and out, can you feel the air as it moves in through your nose? Can you feel it as it moves down through your throat, maybe into your lungs? If you're trying to change your breathing right now, if you feel your shoulders a little tight, or your hands or your arms a little tight, maybe even your feet or legs, just let that all go. Just allow yourself to breathe naturally, whatever your natural rhythm is. Some folks might be experiencing a little difficulty with the breath this morning. The pollen count happens to be very high right now. The tree pollen is very high right now. So you might have one nostril that's blocked a little bit, maybe both blocked a little bit. So just notice that. You don't have to do anything to change it. You just need to be aware that that's the state of your breathing right now. That's the state of your breath right now. And as you feel your breath moving in and out, let's investigate any places in the body where you might be holding some tension, your neck, your shoulders, perhaps your jaw. If your top teeth and your bottom teeth are close together, or if they're touching, see if you can release the muscles in your jaw and let there be a little bit of space between the top teeth and the bottom teeth. Relax your arms and hands, your back, your chest, your belly. Relax your hips, your legs, your ankles, your feet. And now begin to deepen your breathing. So very slowly start to bring air down into the deepest part of your lungs. When you do, it might actually feel like the air is moving down into your belly. As you fill your lungs, it might actually feel like it's flowing down into your belly, and that's a good thing. If you can feel your belly moving in and out with each breath in and out. I'm going to give that several breaths to make that happen. If you're having some difficulty with the breathing this morning, instead of breathing in and out through the nose, which is customary in yoga, you can breathe in through your nose and out slowly through pursed lips, like you're blowing out a candle. So breathing in and out, either in and out through the nose, or in through the nose and out through pursed lips. Again, whatever works best for you this morning. And as we continue this long, slow, deep breathing, we're going to add a little count to the breath, which we often do. So see if you can slowly count to 4 in your mind as you breathe in. And slowly count to 4 in your mind as you breathe out. Again, breathing into 4 and out to 4. That's what we're going to do for several rounds of breath here. As you're counting, as you're breathing, noticing any places in the body that you might be able to relax a little bit more. Relaxation isn't an on and off switch, actually. Relaxation is sort of like a dimmer switch, right? We're not even aware that the switch is up as high as it is. And it can take several breaths to bring that dimmer switch down. And notice if you're present or if you're feeling a little bit distracted. Sometimes being at home, things might distract you a little bit. See if you can just kind of tune those out. Come back to your breathing, come back to the counting. Couple more of these full deep breaths in and out. After your next exhalation to the count of 4, you can release the counting, release all the control of your breath, and go back to your natural breath. So just let air move in and out of your body. No need to control. No need to count. Just awareness of your breath. And notice if there's a different sense of awareness of your breathing right now. So after having done that measured breathing, the brain and the body are calibrated in a little different way. So when you're ready, take your arms up, reach them up overhead. You can open your eyes if you'd like. Let's give the body a big stretch here, reaching the arms way up. Reach that right side and then the left side. Back and forth a couple of times, maybe leaning a little bit from side to side, still breathing in and breathing out, almost like you're trying to climb way up. And then let's release the arms, bring them down, bring your hands together in front of your heart and interlace your fingers. Now notice which orientation your hands are interlaced. So just primarily whichever thumb is on top, we're going to just kind of take note of that. So as you breathe in, lengthen through your spine, bring your arms down, but keep your hands together. And as you breathe out, you're going to press your palms away, dropping your chin to your chest and rounding through your upper back. Keep breathing in and breathing out. As you inhale and exhale, feel what's happening in your upper back and shoulders, really stretching out through that upper back between the shoulder blades. And with your next inhalation, bring your arms way up overhead if you can keep them, fingers interlaced, and reach up, reach up, reach up through the heels of your hands. That looks great, everybody. And then as you next exhale, you're going to release the arms, bring them all the way around behind you. Interlace your fingers back there the same way that you interlace them in the front. Now you need to be sitting up close to the front edge of your chair because we're going to lift the elbows up and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Press the collarbones right up here, press that forward. So as you breathe in and out here, you're going to feel movement in the upper part of your chest. Keep squeezing those shoulder blades together. Keep moving the elbows back, breathing in and breathing out. And then we're going to release and bring the arms all the way back around. Let's shake out the hands a little bit, shake out the arms a little bit. Take your hands together now and interlace them the opposite way. So whichever thumb was on the top before, you're going to interlace your hands so it's the opposite way, and it should feel a little bit strange, should feel a little bit odd. Press your palms together, lift your elbows out a little bit, but keep your hands together. Inhale and lengthen through your spine. And as you exhale, you're going to press your palms away, drop your chin to your chest. Keep pressing out through the heels of your hands as you breathe in and out. Once again, trying to bring some breath, some air, some space into that upper back, between the shoulder blades, tops of the shoulders. Nice full deep breaths here, in and out. Relax your neck muscles, let your head hang if that feels comfortable. And with your next breath in, bring your arms way up overhead. Keep your fingers interlaced if you can. Reach, reach, reach through the heels of your hands. Deep breath in and out. And with your next exhalation, you're going to release your fingers. Sweep the arms around behind you. Now this can be a little tricky. You're going to interlace your hands behind your back in that opposite way. So the same way that you did in the front, but it should feel a little bit strange back there. Bring your elbows together, squeeze your shoulder blades together, press the top part of your chest, so right up by your collarbones, press that forward. Breathe in, breathe out, lifting through the shoulder blades a little bit. That's a tough spot back there, you guys. It gets really tight. So it's a good way to get rid of some of that tightness. One more breath in and out. And then we're going to just release the hands, let the arms come all the way back around. Let's shake everything out a little bit. Let your hands rest on your lap. So take a moment, close your eyes again if that feels okay, or just kind of drop your gaze. And I want you to bring all of your attention to your hands, your arms, your elbows, your upper arms, your shoulders. Notice your chest and your back, the tops of your shoulders. Any other places that feel a little bit different after having done that simple movement with the arms and hands. And then we're going to shift our focus just a little bit to the neck and the shoulders. So take a deep breath in and lengthen through your spine. So from your sitting bones all the way up through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, drop your chin down to your chest. See if you can touch your chin to your chest. Keep breathing in and breathing out. As your next inhale, raise your head back up so you're nice and long and lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, turn and look out over your right shoulder. So look as far back as you can over that right shoulder. Even turn your eyes in the eye sockets, like you could look behind you. And try not to turn your body. So try to keep your shoulders square and your hips square. This is just movement at the neck. Breathing in and breathing out, we're looking as far around to that right side as we can. And with your next inhale, you're going to come all the way back to center. And as you exhale, turn and look out over your left shoulder. Same thing, keep the body nice and straight and square if you can. And we're just turning the neck and the head, and turn the eyes around in the eye sockets as if you could look back there a little bit farther. Breathing in, breathing out. With your next inhale, bring your head all the way back to center. And as you exhale, you're going to drop your chin to your chest once again. So really see if you can pull that chin right down, like you could touch your chin to your collarbones. So we're getting a nice stretch for the back of the neck. Try not to let your shoulders round forward. So sometimes we assist this movement by bringing the shoulders forward, but you want your shoulders to just be kind of relaxed and down. Nice, full, deep breaths, comfortable breaths. And as you next inhale, let's raise the head all the way up. And as you exhale, take your right ear toward your right shoulder. Now we're going to hang out here for just a little bit. So as you hold your right ear toward your right shoulder, let the left side of your neck really relax. Take your left hand off your lap and let that arm hang down by your side. So once again, we've got the right ear on the right shoulder. Left hand is kind of hanging down the side. And now engage the fingers on that left side and reach your fingers toward the floor. So it's very gentle. It's like the fingers are just trying to get a little bit longer. Keep bringing that right ear to the right shoulder. Breathing in and breathing out. Now you might feel some tightness here on that left side. That's okay. That's what this is supposed to address, is some of that tightness. As you keep reaching your left fingers toward the floor, we're going to take that right hand off the lap and bring your right hand up and around to the left side of your head, right near your ear, near your left ear, that is. And you're going to bring a little bit of weight into that arm. So let this arm be really relaxed up here and let the weight of the arm actually pull a little bit on that neck. So you don't want to use your hand and like really pull your neck. You just want to have the weight of your arm providing a gentle traction. And your left fingertips are reaching toward the floor. So it's like you're trying to pull the ear and the fingertips as far away from one another as they'll go. Breathe in, breathe out. If it feels like too much, you can relax your right arm. You can even take your hand off your head if that doesn't feel good. Let's take one more deep breath in and out together as we hold this little stretch. And then we're going to release that hand, bring it back down to your lap. Now your ear is still on your shoulder, so we haven't lifted the head quite yet. We're still getting a little bit of that stretch through the neck. Keep reaching your fingers down. And then let's just turn the nose down toward the floor. Breathe in, breathe out. And then we're going to turn the head and look up toward the ceiling, but the ear stays on the shoulder. So we might not have a whole lot of range here. So we're just turning the nose down and up. Keeping that right ear close to the right shoulder, keeping the left fingers reaching toward the floor. So we're still working that left side of the neck. Still trying to get a little bit of a stretch in there. Slow and steady she goes, right? So slow and steady. Wonderful. And then we'll bring the head sort of back into that center position. Take your left hand to your lap and now lift your head up off your shoulder really slowly. Take a moment, let your brain kind of rebalance things. And I just want you to notice if your right side of your neck and left side of your neck feel a little different. The left side of your neck feels a little bit longer. And then let's just drop the arms down by the sides. Reach the fingers down toward the floor. As you're reaching your fingers down toward the floor, imagine you're pulling the tops of your shoulders farther away from your ears, right? So we're pulling, 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 pulling down. And then relax that, bring your hands back to your lap. Good. Deep breath in as you lengthen up through your spine. And then as you exhale, we're going to take the left ear to the left shoulder. So we're doing the same thing on this side. So relaxing the right side of the neck, bringing that left ear close to the left shoulder. And the nice thing about this stretch is the longer that you hold it and the more smooth and steady your breath is, the deeper the stretch is going to get here on the side. So when you first bring your ear to your shoulder, it's going to be at one level. And then as we hold here and breathe, it's going to get deeper and deeper because we're releasing deeper and deeper levels of tension in the muscles. So take your right hand off your lap now and reach your right fingers down toward the floor. So you're really reaching those fingers down toward the floor and lengthening through that arm. So your left ear is on your left shoulder. Your right fingers are reaching down toward the floor. You're breathing in and breathing out, smooth and steady. That smooth, steady breath, by the way, is what signals your body that everything is good, everything is okay. And now take your left hand off of your left knee or lap, and you're going to bring that left arm up and around and place that hand on the right side of your head near your ear. Once again, you're just going to let the weight of that arm provide a really gentle traction here for this side of the neck. Keep reaching your right fingers down toward the floor. Breathe in, breathe out. Once again, on this side, same thing. You don't want to pull. You don't ever want to take your hand and like try and pull your head over. You're just letting the weight of the arm give a little bit of traction. So it might feel a little uncomfortable, but it should never be painful here. If it is, take your hand off your head. Just breathe in, breathe out. So keeping that ear moving toward the shoulder, keeping your right fingers reaching toward the floor. So we're just trying to stretch this nice juicy part of the neck here that gets really tight for a lot of people. Let's take one more deep breath in and out. And now keep your ear on your shoulder, so don't lift your head, but release your left hand, bring it down to your lap. So we're still here. So the right fingers are reaching toward the floor, the left ear is on the left shoulder, you haven't lifted your head yet. And now we're going to breathe in and out as we turn the nose down toward the floor, and then turn the nose up toward the ceiling. So breathing in and breathing out. Bringing the nose down and bringing the nose up. Keeping that ear as close to the shoulder as you can. So we're working all different kinds of muscles in that right side of the neck and that left side of the neck. And then let's bring the nose kind of right facing center. We're going to take that right hand, place it on the lap, and then slowly lift your head up. So you take that left ear off the left shoulder. Take a breath in, let it out with a sigh. And take a moment here and notice if the right side and left side of your neck now feel a little bit closer to each other. So a little bit more even. And then we're going to take the hands and take them off the lap, reach the fingers down toward the floor, breathe in, breathe out, press into your sitting bones and lengthen through your spine. So it's like your fingers are trying to reach down, but the crown of your head is trying to reach up. So you're trying to get as long and lengthened as you can. And with your next inhalation now, take your arms out to the sides. When they get about shoulder height, turn your palms up. And we're going to hold the arms out here in this outstretched position. Reach out through your right fingertips and then reach out through your left fingertips. Breathe in, breathe out. So it's like you're holding something in the palms of your hands. Now, as you continue to inhale and exhale, we're going to bend the elbows. Keep the palms up because you're still holding that thing in your hands. We're going to bring the elbows in. It's like you've got two trays on your hands. And then we're going to extend out. Okay? So breathing in and breathing out. Now, as you're bending the elbows, remember the palms of the hands stay up. And I want you to initiate this movement from your shoulder blades. So see if you can squeeze your shoulder blades together when the arms come in. And then relax the shoulder blade area and let the shoulder blades move to the outside as the arms come out. You can decide when to inhale and exhale. That's really up to you. Whatever's most comfortable. Some people like to inhale when they extend the arms. Some people would like to inhale when they bend the arms. So just a couple more. Breathing in and breathing out. Great. And the next time that you're extended with your arms, pardon me, you're going to stay here and hold. And now make light fists with your hands. So it's like you're holding something in your hands, but you're not squeezing it too tight. We're going to focus on this upper part of the arm. So don't let that upper part of the arm move. We're going to keep it parallel to the floor as we bend the elbows and bring the fists right into the shoulders and then extend. So let's breathe as we do this. Again, doesn't matter when you inhale, when you exhale, as long as your breathing is smooth and slow. So if you're breathing quickly, see if you can slow the breathing down a little bit. Great. And when your fists come into your shoulders, so when we bend the elbows and the fists come all the way into the shoulders, I want you to give these muscles a good squeeze. So give them a nice squeeze here. And then we're going to extend. Just a couple more like this, keeping those upper arms parallel to the floor. Great, and the next time that we have the fists in toward the shoulders, we're gonna go up overhead with that same intention. So go way up overhead and squeeze those shoulder tops up toward your ears, and then bend and come all the way down. Bring your elbows behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades together back there. Breathing in and out, we're gonna go up and down. So we're gonna do these presses a few times, right? So as you breathe in and out, we're going up, reach, 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 and come down, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Notice if you're arching your back. Notice if you're bringing tension or tightness in your hips or your legs or your feet. See if you can release all that. That looks great. One more time, up and down. And we're gonna hold here. So we're squeezing those shoulder blades together, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Notice if you're squeezing your fists, see if you can relax your fists a little bit. Okay, now from here, we're gonna press forward. So take your hands like you're gonna say stop. So you're pressing forward, press as much as you can, round through your upper back, and then make light fists and pull back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. So breathing in and out, we're pressing forward and we're pulling back. Feel this in the upper back. So see if you can bring your focus there. You're probably feeling it in lots of places, but direct your attention to what's happening in your upper back as we're doing this. So what are the sensations in that upper back, especially as you pull back and squeeze those muscles, right? One more time. Beautiful. And then we're going to come right back to that starting position, right? So with the arms extended, light fists here. Actually, let's open and close the fists a little bit. So we kind of stretch those fingers. Sometimes we get a little tight in the hands. So now with a light fist, we're going to weave everything together. So breathe in and out, sit up nice and tall, keeping mindful that the upper arms stay parallel to the floor. We're going to bend and bring the hands into the shoulders. And then we're going to go up overhead. So reach up, press up, 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 up. Breathe in and out. We're going to come all the way down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, bring the elbows back there, and then we're going to come forward. So press and round through the upper back, and then pull back. Great. Let's go out to the sides once again. Breathing in, breathing out. We're bending. Fists come to the shoulders. We're going to keep breathing in and out as we lift up. Come all the way down, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then we're going to come forward. So you can press like you're saying stop, round through that upper back. Let's do this one more time. So arms come out to the sides, little bend here, breathing in and out. We're going to go up overhead. We're going to come all the way down, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then press forward. Let's hold here. Press, press, press. Really pull the hands forward as far as you can. Feel a little bit of rounding in the upper back. Take one more breath in, and as you exhale, let it out with a sigh and let your hands float all the way down to your lap. Close your eyes for a moment or drop your gaze down and bring your attention into your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Notice as you inhale and exhale what your upper back feels like, what your shoulder blades feel like. Notice your chest and the tops of your shoulders. Let's take one more deep breath in together. We'll let it out with a sigh. And then let's shake things out a little bit here. So the hands and the arms and the shoulders, get everything kind of relaxed. And then we're going to relax that upper body a bit, and we're going to shift our focus now down to the lower part of the body. So take your right leg and extend that right leg out. Yeah, if you're not sitting up at the front of your chair, you might want to make that adjustment now. So with your leg extended, let's start first with the toes. So we're squeezing and extending toes, squeezing and extending toes. Breathing in and breathing out, making sure you're sitting up nice and tall, right? Relaxing your hands. And then let's start to point and flex the foot. So you can tap your toes and then tap your heel. Nice full deep breaths here. And then let's start to circle at the ankle. So if it's comfortable and you're able to have your heel up off the floor, that's great. If it's easier to have your heel on the floor, you can do that, right? And then reverse direction. If you've been going in one direction, the ankle likes to work in both directions. And then let's bring that heel back down to the floor. So take your hands, I understand that everybody's got a different chair, but if you can, bring your hands either to the edges of your chair like this, or if you're on a wider chair, maybe place your hands flat. And that's just to make sure your back stays up nice and tall and you don't start to round forward. So what we're gonna do here with this right leg is we're gonna lift the heel and bend the knee. And you guys can bring your heel back as far as you can. This is about the range I have right now. So we're gonna extend and bend. So we're just extending and bending through that knee, keeping the spine tall, keeping the breath nice and smooth and steady. So if your heel comes back underneath your chair or underneath your buttocks, that's great. If you get just a little bit of bend like I do, then that's great too. That's just where we're at right now. So just a couple more breaths as we bend and extend. So we're working these quadriceps muscles. Quadriceps muscles come down over the knee, really important for mobility, being able to get up and down the stairs. And one more time, and then we're going to extend that leg. Whew, and we're going to drop that heel to the floor. Let's relax that leg and give those muscles a little bit of a massage. So you can do a little squeeze kind of massage, or you could do a little bit of a tapping kind of massage, either with the flat of your hands or the side of your hands. I like to do like the karate chop kind of thing. That feels really good on those muscles. Could even do fists, all kinds of different things. Okay, so let's extend that right leg one more time and press out through the heel. And now we're going to rotate the whole leg from the heel all the way up. And you'll feel this if you take your right hand and right where your thumb and your first finger come together, that's the saddle part of your hand. You're going to place that saddle right in that joint line. So it's below your belly and above your thigh. It's kind of right in that line. And as you rotate your leg in and out, so we're rotating the whole leg, you should feel some movement underneath that part of your hand up here. You should feel that rotation of your leg in the hip socket, right? So that upper leg bone, the femur, that's the longest bone in your body, the femur. And that femur is rotating there. Now you might be looking at your knee going, wow, there's a little bit of movement there. And yep, that's true. And at your ankle as well, there's a little bit of movement there. The least amount of movement should happen in your knee because that joint is just not made the same way that the ankle and the hip are. So let's do just a couple more rotations here. Great. And then we're going to bring the foot so that the toes are straight up toward the ceiling. Now you can release your right hand. Once again, we're pressing out through the heel. And what I want you to do is really tighten these muscles up here in the upper part of the thigh, almost as if you're pulling up a stocking on that leg. So these muscles get nice and strong. You can have your hands on your chair. I'm going to use the chair because it's really helpful for me, especially with my injured leg. So I'm going to have my hands on the chair and I'm just going to make sure I'm sitting up nice and tall. And I could see that just through that feeling that I was starting to slouch forward a little bit. So I'm sitting up nice and tall. We're going to deepen the breathing. And then using these muscles, we're going to lift the heel off the floor and lower it down and keep the leg nice and straight. And notice now if your tendency is to kind of lean back in your chair when you lift the leg or to lean forward when you lower. So we're really trying to keep the upper body still. And we're trying to use these muscles right here in the thigh. Now some of the thigh muscles actually cross the hips. So they come up in deep into your lower belly here. And that's what we're working on. So just a couple more, making these quadriceps muscles nice and strong, you guys. One more time, we're going to lift and now we're going to hold and breathe. So keep squeezing these muscles nice and strong. This is a tough one to do, really tough. Let's see if we can take 3 more breaths, just 3 more breaths. There's 1. And 2. And 3, and let's relax that leg all the way down. Let it go. And then again, you can do a little bit of massage here, maybe squeezing or maybe tapping a little bit, maybe rubbing the leg a little bit. So the more we can release this tension in the muscles, the better the leg will respond. All right. All right. So let's do this. We're going to scoot over to the right side of the chair. So have your backside right over to that right edge of your chair. You can have your left knee bent with your foot flat on the floor. So make sure you got good purchase on the floor with that foot. And then we're going to take the right foot. We're going to use the heel and the toes and walk the leg out. And walk it out, out, out. And then we're going to walk it back, right? Now notice if your upper body tends to lean forward or backward when you're doing this. Let's see if we can keep the spine nice and tall and keep the body lengthened as we just walk the foot in and out. Breathing in and out smoothly. So that's the other thing you might notice is that your breathing has changed. The rate has changed. Maybe you're not breathing as deeply as you were. So relax your breathing, especially when your leg gets to a part that feels a little uncomfortable, right? So as we stretch out to the side, maybe get a little uncomfortable in that side stretch. And the next time your leg is out here to the side, let's see if we can hold right there. Now with the leg out to the side, notice if your body is starting to turn in that direction, we're gonna turn the body back to this right leg, the left leg in the same direction as the left leg. So the right leg is going out to the right and the left leg is forward. Okay. Now lift your right toes, spread them nice and wide, and then lower them down. See if you can lower them down with as much space between your toes as possible. So again, I'll do it kind of with my hands. Instead of lowering down with all your toes together, spread them wide and then lower them down so that each toe gets as much space as it can get. So here we're going to press down into the foot. Now, if you can, get your ankle underneath your knee. Now, mine is not quite there. I'm not quite able to get my ankle under my knee, but it's in as far as I can go here. So I just want to push that a little bit to the edge of where it can go. We're going to take the right elbow and forearm, and we're going to bring that down onto the right thigh. If you remember from our last class, we don't want to just lean into that side, kind of bringing the rib cage close to the hip. We want to come up, take a breath in, and then lean over. And then we've got that arm resting on that side. Let's breathe in and out, and we're going to inhale as we take that left arm up, and exhale as we bring the left arm down. Breathing in as we lift the left arm up, and breathing out as we bring the left arm down. Let's do that just a couple more times. Breathing in and out. Great. And do the best you can. So the next time your arm is up, we're going to hold it up here. So we're really lengthening through the spine, and then bend your elbow and take your left hand to your left shoulder. Notice where your right hand is. See if you can turn the palm up and open it up like you're holding a tray there. As you breathe in, bring your left elbow behind you as far as it'll go. And as you breathe out, we're going to come forward and see if you can bring your left elbow right down onto that right palm of the hand. So again, breathing in, we're going to come all the way up. Now, let your weight rest on your elbow and forearm there, right? So your elbow and forearm are on your leg, and that's supporting your weight. Coming forward and back. Good. Let's just do this 2 more times. This is a great way to get a bit of a stretch and a bit of a twist in the spine. And last time, we're going to come down and let the elbow kind of kiss the palm of the hand, and then come all the way up, and we're going to hold here for a breath. And then we're going to take that left hand down to the left leg. Don't sit up quite yet. And then we're going to lean forward and over to the left and then push up. Good. So that's a better way to do that. It's a safer way to do that for the side of the body. So let's take that right leg and see if you can extend it out. So you can kind of crawl your toes out and have your heel on the floor. So with your heel on the floor, you're going to engage the muscles here in the top part of that leg. So that those are the muscles that actually straighten your knee. So we're straightening that knee. Bring your toes toward your shin. Take your left hand to the left side of your chair. As you inhale, take your right arm all the way up overhead. And as you exhale, bend your left elbow. And let's lean into that left side. Reach out through your fingers. Breathe in and out. You can release your right arm down. So let's do that a couple times. Breathing in, we come up. And breathing out, we lean into that left side. Breathing in and out. Beautiful. Couple more of these. Wonderful. And let's go just one more time, you guys. Over to the side. Beautiful. Come all the way up, all the way back. Great. So let's relax that right leg a little bit. Maybe use the heel and toe or toes if you have more than one on that foot. Bring it all the way back over. And as you bring that leg back over, let's scoot to the center of the chair once again. As you scoot to the center of the chair, I'm going to ask you to extend both legs. And as you extend both legs, point your toes. And notice if your right leg is longer than your left leg. So if your right leg is longer than your left leg, raise your hand. All right. Oh, I got some people with two hands. They're like, yay, it's really longer. All right. So bend your knees as best you can. And then we're going to take that left leg extended out. And let's start with the toes. So squeezing in, extending the toes. Now it might seem like, wow, we're wasting a lot of time like on these little joints in the toes, but really everything is affected from your toes to your hip. When you're tight, when you're tense, when your gait is off, when you've got some kind of an injury, it affects the whole chain from the foot all the way up to the hip. So we want to make sure we work all the muscles and all the joints, even the little teeny ones, because they're really important too. So make sure your body is nice and tall still, and we're going to point and flex that foot, right? So if you can, tap your toes and then tap your heel. If you need to have your foot on the floor, that's okay too. You know, do the best you can. We're always working. That's the thing, you guys. We're always working within the limitations of our physical structure, how our body is able to move, what it's capable of doing, as well as our mental structure. So sometimes if I'm tired or if I'm feeling a little down about something, I notice that I just don't have the same kind of energy in my body as I would if I were feeling kind of good. So get to respect that. And then let's start to circle around at the ankle, right? So one of the things about yoga, one of the practices of yoga is to observe things without needing to change them. And that's a really good practice, especially in the current time we're in. Let's reverse direction there, because there's not a lot of things we can do to change the situation that we have right now, but just observing how we feel about it, just observing how we're reacting and responding to it. And then let's drop that heel down to the floor. Okay, this is where we're going to hold on to the sides of the chair again. If you've got sides, or if you're sitting on kind of a wider surface, you can place your palms on that surface. Just want to make sure that the spine stays up nice and tall. We're going to engage the belly a little bit here. That also helps your spine if you can engage your belly muscles a little bit. So we're going to do a little bit of work here for the knee. We're just going to bend that knee and bring the heel way under the chair if you can, and then extend. Right. And so you might notice, as I do, that, you know, on one side, I have a lot more range than on the other side. And, you know, that's okay. Again, we're just all working within the limitations that we have and within the abilities that we have, and being okay with that. Right. So let's do a couple more of these. Notice your breathing. Notice if your breath has gotten a little bit shallow. See if you can deepen your breathing a little bit more. Good. Great. And one more time, we're going to extend and we're going to hold if we can. So holding if you can, and really squeezing those thigh muscles there, breathing in and breathing out. And then let's lower that leg all the way down. Good. Let's give that a little bit of a massage. So maybe squeezing those thigh muscles a bit, the outside, or maybe tapping, or using a little karate chop thing here with the sides of the hands. That always feels really good. Okay, and then let's extend that leg once again. So now as we extend that leg, we're engaging these muscles here in the top part of the thigh. You're going to take your hand and right here between the thumb and the first finger, we're going to put the hand in that little crease between the top of the thigh and the bottom of the belly, and we're just going to roll the leg in and out. So you're rolling the entire leg from the toes all the way up into the hip. Right? So there's that movement. You can feel that movement from the bottom to the top. Notice if this side is different than the other. I can say for sure with me, there's definitely a difference from side to side. And it's always just very interesting to observe that. We don't need to change it. We just need to know that it's there. Okay, and then the next time that your toes are straight up toward the ceiling, we're gonna hold there and you can release your left hand. And once again, let's really activate, strongly activate these thigh muscles here. So it's like you're trying to pull that kneecap up, hold onto your chair or press into the chair so that you get nice and tall in your spine, breathe in and out easily. And then we're gonna lift and lower that heel. So this is all about the muscles here in the thigh, from the knee right up to the hip, right? So you wanna try not to lean forward or lean back as you're doing this. You're keeping your spine upright. Your breath is smooth, steady, gentle. Good. And the next time that you lift, let's hold. Let's breathe. Let's see if we can hold just for 3, right? So hold for 3 full deep breaths here. That's 1. And 2. And last breath in. And as you exhale, you can release and relax that leg. Great. Let's give that leg a little massage. Again, you can squeeze or tap. You can do it with your fists. You can do it with the sides of your hands or with the palms of your hands. You can do a little slapping kind of movement there too. All right, and then we're going to scoot over to the left side of the chair. So your left cheek is kind of off to the side now. Your right foot, if you can get your ankle fairly close to underneath your knee, that's great. Anywhere in there is fine. And then we're going to take that left foot, walk it out, and walk it back. So you're just you're using the ankle and you're just kind of rotating at the ankle using the heel and the toes and walking out and walking back. Notice if your body is leaning as you're doing this. See if you can sit up nice and tall. You can go nice and slow. I know I've been going a little bit fast, so I'm going to slow it down a little bit because that feels better actually. It's harder. It's harder to go slower because then you're not working with momentum, but you end up getting more out of it. So it is best to kind of go slowly. That's a message that keeps coming to me over and over, is this idea about slowing down. Next time your leg is out to the side, let's kind of hang out here a little bit. So this idea of slowing down, we've been speeding up for a long time as a society, and I think you know, part of what's happening with the pandemic now, you know, that's about something going through our society at a really fast speed. So in order to counter that, you know, we can slow down. Having an accident, falling down and hurting yourself, sometimes that's because we're going too fast and we're not really present with what is. So now that your left leg is out to the side, I'm going to ask you to lift all your toes, spread them out nice and wide, and then keep them as wide as you can as you lower them down. So we've got as much, we're covering as much surface area with that foot as possible. Ooh, just going to move that out. Okay. So pressing down here again. Now, if you look at your left leg, perhaps you can get your left ankle underneath your left knee. If you can, that's great. If you can't, if your knee doesn't bend quite that way or your hip won't allow your leg to bend that way, that's okay. Just do the best you can there. We're going to take the left elbow and forearm and place it down on that thigh. But first, we're going to lift and lengthen as we breathe in. And then we're going to come all the way over and do this. Yeah. So breathing in and breathing out, right? So you're letting the body weight come into that elbow and forearm. So you're really resting there. You're not taxing the side of your body. So let's inhale as we take that right arm up and exhale as we bring that right arm down. So breathing in, bring the arm up. Breathing out, we're going to bring the arm down. A couple more times, breathing in as we bring the arm up. Breathing out as we bring the arm down. And last time, we're going to breathe in as we bring that arm all the way up. Lift and lengthen through that side of your body. Keep breathing as you bend your elbow and bring your hand down toward your shoulder. So maybe you can grab your shoulder, or maybe it's on your chest, or maybe it's on your head, wherever it's most comfortable for you. And with your next breath in, take your elbow back and squeeze your shoulder blade back there. And then as you exhale, you're going to come forward and bring your elbow down into the palm of your left hand. So get as close as you can. Breathing in, we're going to rotate up. And breathing out, we're going to rotate forward. So you need to have the left palm of your hand facing up. so that you can place your elbow down close to it. Now, you might get your elbow right on your hand, or it might have quite a distance to go. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the intention that you're trying to get that there. Great, just one more time, we're gonna come forward and up. So see if you can stick with me just one more time down and all the way up. Great, and then we're gonna release that right hand back to the lap. Now don't sit up straight, we're gonna roll forward a little bit, roll over to that right side, push into that right side and come straight up. So again, this is a little more safe for your spine to kind of roll forward first and then press up. Let's take that left leg and extend it out so you can use your toes and your heel and slide the leg out. You want that leg to get nice and straight, and then activate the muscles here in this side really strongly. It's like you're trying to pull your kneecap right up into your hip. So really activate those muscles nice and strongly. Make sure your body is still facing forward. You're not kind of drifting off to the side here. Take your right hand, place it on the side of your chair. And as you breathe in, take your left arm all the way up. And as you breathe out, we're going to lean to the right side and bend that right elbow. Come over as far as you can. Keep that left leg extended. Breathe in, come up. And breathe out, come all the way down. Let's do that a few times. So inhaling up and exhaling to the side. Breathing in and breathing out. That looks great. So just a couple more of these as we lean to one side, getting a stretch through that side of the body. When you stretch one side of the body, you're actually strengthening the other side of the body most of the time. And let's go one more time. I might have lost count, but that's okay. We do one extra. That's a good thing. And then come all the way back up. Wonderful. Release that arm all the way down. So now you can take the left foot and use your heel and your toes and walk or wiggle that foot all the way back. And as the foot comes back, you're going to scoot into the center of your chair once again, maybe holding on. Let's extend both legs. Point out through your toes and notice if your right leg and your left leg are now the same length again. So if your legs are the same length, raise your hand. Yay. All right. 2 hands. Woohoo. All right, let's lower the hands down. And then we're going to bend the knees a little bit. Sit comfortably in your chair. We're going to return to a little bit of breathing and a little meditation exercise now. So if you want to sit back, if you've got something to put your feet up on, if you want to do that, you can do that as well. Let your hands rest comfortably on your lap. And if it's okay, close your eyes. And let's return to the breath. And just go back to the way that the air is moving in and out of your body. Notice as you breathe in and out if you can feel movement in your belly and your rib cage, maybe up into your collarbones. Maybe you feel movement in the sides of your body, the expansion and contraction between the ribs, or the space between your rib cage and your hips, the sides of the waist. Even more subtle movement is happening in the upper and middle part of your back. As you breathe in and out, can you notice, can you feel, can you sense any kind of movement in that upper and middle part of your back, say around your shoulder blade area? And there's no right or wrong, it's just an investigation. It's just a query to what's happening. And as you get a sense of the movement of the air in and out of your body, notice your thoughts. Notice how thoughts keep moving. And let's imagine the thoughts like clouds in the sky. So the mind is like the very sky itself. It's just this beautiful blue expanse, right? So that's your mind. And the thoughts are like clouds in the sky, right? So you've got the mind in the background, you've got the thoughts in the foreground, just like we have the sky in the background and the clouds in the foreground. And as you're noticing your thoughts, notice if there are a lot of thoughts. So is the sky really cloudy, or are there just a few thoughts? And what would it be like if your mind could be like a clear blue sky with just a few little clouds wisping by? And the way to let that happen is to allow your thoughts to move. So when you feel a thought coming through, whether you sense it or see it or kind of intuit that it's there, try not to follow it for any length of time. You're just going to let that thought come in and then let it go out. So it's like a cloud that's moving fairly quickly across the sky. Thunderheads don't move fast, right? So we want those thoughts to be more like little fluffy clouds that move quickly, not so much like thunderheads that gather. And that's the thing about thunderheads. They tend to gather and kind of squish into each other and cloud up the whole sky. And that's what happens with thoughts when our thoughts become too overwhelming, when we get too obsessive about our thoughts. They become like thunderheads and they stick to one another and they just cloud up our ability to see and perceive our mind. So your mind is like a clear blue sky and your thoughts are like little fluffy clouds moving across that sky. Maybe they're those thin cirrus clouds, maybe they're just a little more fluffy and cottony. But if you see any place where it looks like thunderheads are trying to gather, just take some breaths in and out. And that's like the breeze gently moving those clouds across the sky. So your breath is to your thoughts what the air is to the clouds. And know that it's natural, it's really normal to have thoughts move in and out. Our goal and objective is not to stop thoughts or to empty the mind. The goal here is just to observe the thoughts and let them go. The thoughts are going to do what they do, but it's how we respond and react to those thoughts that can make a difference. Breathing in and breathing out. If you notice yourself attaching to a thought, just observe that and see if you can let it go. We don't want those clouds to gather. We want the clouds to continue to move. And know that your natural state of mind is to be like a clear blue sky. That is the natural state of mind, to be clear. And resting in that awareness gives us just a little different perspective about our thoughts, because sometimes we can identify with our thoughts like they are us. I am what I think. And yoga tells us that could not be farther from the truth. We are not what we think. We are the one that observes the thoughts. We don't have to be at the end of that whip. We can be behind the thoughts, just observing, noticing. One of my favorite mantras or that I use for meditation is when I notice a thought and it gets kind of stuck there and it's grabbing my attention, I'll just kind of say to myself, wow, isn't that interesting? And you can repeat that over and over again as you notice things that come up that are trying to really capture your attention. You can just kind of say to yourself, wow, isn't that interesting? And that is noticing something without assigning a value to it. So I'm not saying, wow, that's a bad thought, or wow, that's a really good thought. I'm just saying, wow, that's really interesting. It doesn't matter what I think of as good or bad, it's just what it is. We'll take just a couple more breaths in and out. Noticing the thoughts, noticing the mind. So the sky and the clouds. And then take your right hand and place it at the center of your chest, and then take your left hand and cover your right. Let's take a deep breath in together and we'll let it out with an audible sigh. You can let your hands come together, maybe in an expression of gratitude. I'm grateful for this day, grateful for being together, for the sunshine or the clouds or whatever the weather is in your neck of the woods today. And then just kind of opening your eyes. So thank you for being here, for those who are here now, and for those who are here in the future.